Hi everyone. My wife and I finally reunited. She came back from Siberia. So we decided to record an episode. I'll say up front, it's going to be different from the usual format you've seen in our earlier episodes. I decided to tidy up my beard, get a little haircut, and the one cutting me isn't just any barber, but you could say a legend. An American who loves Russia, has lived here a long time, and what's more, is a combat veteran who served as a volunteer in Hispaniola. This is Greg Russell on social media. He goes by Teddyboy Greg. It'll be interesting to film the process and chat with him as much as possible, something like that, Greg.
Greg has already become one of the go-to house call barbers in the capital. It'll be an interesting conversation and interesting work. I think you'll like it.
I'll add that Greg and I were kind of acquainted from afar. We'd messaged, and he came to concerts. Today we'll finally meet in person and chat. Enjoy the video.
Russian people think, hey, can we afford to have children? Can we afford to provide a life for our children? The migrant doesn't think this way. The migrant thinks, how many children am I going to have, and is the state going to take care of them?
So you came to Russia because you like traditional values.
I like traditional values. Why did I move to Russia?
Yes.
You know, I've been all over the world. I've seen all over the world. I've seen all of Europe. I always liked Russia before I moved here. Before I moved to Russia, I always thought Russia's a good white country. It's a country that's not backing down on itself. It's not all these fucking agendas. I saw it kind of like the Wild Wild West. You know, before I came here. And yeah, I like the traditional aspect. Really, what you see from the outside isn't everything. When you come here, you start seeing the real truth about it. Compared to what I thought before I came here. Yes, Russia's in a much better position than the rest of the world, but it's not everything. You know what I mean? It's not everyone what everybody thinks from the outside. You know, mass corruption, bullshit too. There's a lot of shit that you don't see from the outside until you live here. But yeah, I like to, and I feel Russia needs to be protected, because if this country totally falls, I don't see a future anyway. That's why I always say about civilization and survival. If Russia is going to fall, where else is there going to be for white people to go? I don't see anywhere. You know, that's as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, I don't see a future if this country was to fall.
Did you think sometimes to come back to USA?
No, and I couldn't.
Why?
I have no idea. I have no desire to go back to America. Never thought about it. The U.S. government has warrants out for me. I'm on Miratorits. I would have too many problems from the authorities back there. For me, I don't consider America my country anymore. I consider it enemy soil at this point. You know, and I had no desire to be back there at all. So yeah, no, I've never thought about going back. I've been here almost 9 years in Russia. I've not left Russia in 9 years. So no, I haven't. I couldn't go back. I would just say I wanted to go visit. They would arrest me because I served. You know, I served with Hispaniola. I fought in the war. And also because I'm very kind of known, I speak my mind. If I was a quiet person and I wasn't known, yeah, I could probably go back to America and visit. But because I'm very known, that they would try to make an example out of me. And no, I don't. No desire there, man. I don't. My mother's there, but I want to bring her to Russia.
What does she say about it?
I mean, she's 69 years old now. She's not in bad health. She has some health problems. She's pensioner in Sasha. It's very expensive to live in America nowadays. I told her if she comes to live with me in Russia, it's much cheaper to live here compared to America. Her money would go much further here.
Do you mean the health system? Yes.
Not health, her financial situation, her pension. Pensions in America are much higher than Russia. She gets about $1,800 US a month in a pension, but for her apartment costs $1,300. So you have to figure this: with that pension, she could live much more comfortable in Russia. And I want to get her residence permit where she can come to Russia and live with me, maybe 6 months a year, and she can go back and forth if she wants to. So I want to do this, but it's a very long flight for her. I'm hoping she's going to maybe come visit next year.
It will be great.
Yeah, and you know, we could buy a very nice apartment here compared to living back there.
А в каком штате? What state?
New Jersey. I grew up near Philadelphia, in South Jersey, right near Philly. So she's there. My father died 9 years ago, so it's just her and my sister. So yeah, I'd like to bring her here eventually. At least she's going to come over and visit.
How many cities in Russia did you visit already?
I've been to more cities in Russia than most Russian people. I've been all across the country. I've been Vladivostok, Khabarovsk, Kamchatka. I've been all the way north, south, Siberia, Urals, Orenburg, Crimea, obviously all through the war zone. This is Russia too. I've been to many places. I teach many barber master classes over the years all across Russia, so I've seen many cities in Russia. And I like it, the other parts of Russia. There's things I like about other parts of Russia compared to Moscow, I can tell you that. It's much cheaper to live in other areas. Moscow, there's just money here, but it's also much more expensive. I want to move to Donetsk eventually. That's my plan.
To Donetsk, yes.
I want to. I want to open a barber shop there. I want to open many, and I want to have a location in Donetsk. I will still keep my business in Moscow, but I want to start opening in other areas. It's too expensive to buy anything in Moscow.
That's true.
It's ridiculous. In America, we don't live in apartments either in America. I want to buy maybe a house, and you can't do that in Moscow. You know what I mean? It's too expensive in Moscow too for property. I like Moscow, but I'm getting kind of sick of Moscow, if you want my honest opinion. I'm actually more sick of the people in Moscow than anything. I like the people in, Lugansk, Donetsk, that actually support the war. Those type of people, But in Moscow, they act like they've never even heard of the war. A lot of people.
Ну, теперь-то, наверное, уже слышат.
Yeah, like you go into the new territories, everybody supports the war, or they know somebody that's fought, their brother, their father. They know someone that died, they've been attacked, so they support, but I like the people in these areas. Different mentality.
My father's from Donetsk.
Yeah?
And father's sister, my aunt, living in Donetsk all these years.
Donetsk is nice. Even Lugansk, very nice. I see many businesses there. It's very money there.
Mariupol also.
Yeah, Mariupol, maybe I'll do something there eventually. It's not bad there.
Why did you decide to go to special military operation? I think everyone asks you about it, but
I wanted to join the war for a long time, but I've always been very for the war since 2014. But I was very naive. I didn't know that I could join something before I went to Hispaniola. That's why I never joined anything before. I had document issues for a while, so that stopped me. But I probably would have been out there sooner. But before I joined Hispaniola, I thought you must be experienced soldier to join any of these units. This is what I always think. I don't know why I thought that. So this is why I never tried to join a unit. Years ago, I was like looking at Wagner. I was like, man, I would love to join Wagner. But then I thought, oh, I'm not an experienced soldier. They would never take me. But I didn't realize that I could have joined. I probably could have joined Wagner too back then. And how I joined Hispaniola is I didn't have a plan to join Hispaniola. It was actually because of Vahadnoy.
Mhm.
You know Vahadnoy.
Slava.
Yeah. So I knew him many years before, even before he joined Hispaniola. And he used to come to my barber shop in Moscow, and he used to bring his godson to get his haircut. We're talking 2018, when I first opened, 2019. I didn't see him for many years. We were just doing different things. And I ran into him 1 week before he died. They had a Time for Heroes festival. He was there in Moscow, and we reconnected. And we started talking. And he's like, yo, why don't you come visit Hispaniola? Come down to Mariupol, hang out. Bring your barber tools. And I'll introduce you to everybody and just come cut the guy's hair and come hang out with us down there. And I said, yeah, that sounds good. I want to come and visit. And then when he died, I went to the funeral. And I met many of the Hispaniola soldiers there. I didn't meet Hispanics there. I met, guys like Andrei Salamantin and just different guys from Hispaniola, Dmitry Grom. I met all those guys. And I felt like I was supposed to join Hispaniola when I was there. Like, I felt like I was kind of a part of them. When I met all these guys, I was like, man, this is the kind of brotherhood I want to be a part of. So I kind of got the idea at his funeral that I wanted to join Hispaniola. So in April, he died in March. His funeral, I think, was March 7th. I went to St. Petersburg that month because they were having an event. Because I knew Lavrenti was going to be there, and many of the Espinal leadership, Pitbull and German and all Alexander German. So I went out there to go meet with them, and I proposed the idea to Salamantin, another guy. I said, yo, man, I'm a barber. I said, why don't you guys let me be the Espinola barber? I'll open a barber shop for Espinola. I can be like me. I can do media stuff or whatever. And then they called the Hispanics, and the Hispanics loved the idea. And he said, yo, come down to Mariupol to meet me and let's talk. And I went down there like 2 weeks later and I met with him and he said, I want you to join. I want you to be Hispanola's barber and media guy and work security on our base and you can work in the warehouse. And I signed my first contract. So yeah, it was actually because of Vahodnoy why I ended up joining. If he hadn't died, I don't think I would have ended up joining Hispaniola because it's very weird how everything happened. And yeah, I was very naive. Like before this, I thought to join any of these kind of units you had to have prior military experience, so I never tried. But if I had known different, I probably would have approached Wagner years ago with the same thing and said, hey, can I be the barber? They probably would have, I bet you. And became a soldier that way, but I ended up with Hispaniola, you know what I mean? And so that's how I ended up going, but I'd always been in support of the war. I just didn't know that there was a place for me there. And then from there I became, you know, from being with Hispaniola, I finally learned how to be, you know, soldier. I started doing stuff and I finally got to go to the front line.
Very scary.
Was what scary?
I mean, to be afraid of something at war.
Of course. I mean, every time you step out there, it's scary. I mean, I think anybody that's out there, they would be lying if they said they aren't scared out there. Anyone. Every time you go out there, you know you could potentially die. I mean, I wouldn't say you're scared, but it's always on your mind. You know, and I worked in RMTO. I worked transporting all the supplies into the front line. So I was the guy on the back of the truck watching for drones, and you know, we're the guys that bring all the stuff into the front line positions. You know, deep in Bakhmut and Chasiv Yar, and every day there's drones attacking us. But yeah, you can't really be scared where you're going to freeze up, but of course you're thinking about, hey man, I could die out here. It's not Disneyland out there. But it's also kind of, it's hard to explain. It's also, it's very adrenaline when you're out there. You become very amped up, you know, you become very like, it's hard to explain. You become very excited when you're out there. Mm-hmm. It's like adrenaline. I don't know what the word is for this in Russia. It's like you're risking, but you're happy doing it. So yeah, you feel this too, but especially when a drone almost kills you or you see dead bodies all over, you start saying, "Wow, man, that could be me." You know what I mean? But yeah, I think everyone is scared out there at some point. Good answer?
Mm-hmm. Yes, of course. We understand this feeling.
Yeah, it's not easy out there, and it's even worse there now, man. It's just, it keeps getting worse and worse. But yeah, that's how I ended up joining Hispaniola. But it was all because of Hispanics, you know. If because of Vahodnoy and Hispanics, if Hispanics didn't accept me, I would have never been able to join Hispaniola. You know, a lot of guys tried to join Hispaniola, but you gotta have Hispaniola's type thinking, man. You know, you gotta think the same way as them. You know, and he already knew who I was before I tried to join. I think he talked to some people, but you know, it wasn't easy to join Hispaniola. Not everybody could join them. You know, you have to fit a certain mindset to be able to join Hispaniola.
But you found a lot of friends there, as I think.
A lot of what?
A lot of friends.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, that's the thing, Hispaniola, you know, it's a brotherhood, you know, we all,
Yes.
once you join, you're always going to be part of this, you know.
Мы когда там играли для Испаньолы в 24-м году, я поймал себя на мысли, что захотелось остаться. Тоже. Вот мы приехали на концерт, отыграли, но у меня такая мысль, блин, вот эта вот атмосфера братства, да.
I was telling him, I think I'm the only guy that was in Hispaniola that doesn't like football. I'm not a soccer fan, I'm a football fan. In America, we don't follow it. It's actually funny, in America we consider it a migrant sport. So we don't follow football because it's mostly Mexicans and Hispanics follow it. You know, like we like American football, it's different. But I think I'm the only guy that was in Hispaniola that I don't even know how to play soccer, all the rules, to tell you the honest thing. That's how much I know about football. I mean, I know how to play it and all that, but there's certain rules in the soccer that I don't even know. That's how much I know. But yeah, most guys in Hispaniola, a lot of guys, football hooligans, football fans. For me, I'm not a fan of football. I don't know much about it.
But maybe it's not so important.
It's not important. I don't think so. I mean, no. I mean, yeah, the unit started with majority football fans, but I don't think it really matters if you're a fan or not. You know what I mean? And I was the only Westerner that ever joined Hispaniola. You know, we had other guys from Colombia. I think there was a guy from Spain. We had a guy from Mexico, but I was the only American that ever joined, a real Westerner that ever joined Hispaniola.
I see in your barber shop a lot of pictures related with the Second World War.
What, in here?
I mean, this hero and
Russian
Stalin.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, my shop's a mixture. I got old rock and roll from America. I like 1950s. You've seen my hair. I like old school rockabilly music and 50s culture. But I also like World War II. I like these things. And, you know, it's a mixture of everything inside my shop. You know, all the stuff that I like. Old Americana. Before America became a shithole, that's what I tried to show.
What American people say about the Second World War? Did they really think that that only USA win this battle?
Well, we didn't. I always know about the war because I like history, so I study myself. But the majority of Americans, if you talk to them, they don't know much about what Russia and the Soviet Union did during the Great World War II. No, the Americans, the majority think that they won the whole entire war. Like, if you ask them, they don't know much. Yeah, you could say the Americans won the war in the Pacific against the Japanese. But, you know, in Europe, it was mainly the Russians, but also the Americans helped the Russians a lot too with the Lend-Lease and with equipment. But yeah, a lot of Americans don't know this. You ask the majority, in our school books, they don't really talk about it much. They give more of the credit to the Americans on our side when you hear it. Why I know this is because I study the war myself independently.
Sometimes I think that young people in USA, in Europe, maybe even in Russia, don't like to know much about history
No,
of
they
their
don't.
own countries.
Да в России то же самое.
Most
Yes,
of the
in
history,
Russia too.
and most of the history that you hear in America is a bunch of bullshit too, the way it's written. So yeah, a lot of people. I mean, me personally, I love history. For me, I enjoy reading it. I enjoy watching documentaries. So for me, it's interesting. But a lot of people don't care about history. Yeah, they don't. They don't care about what's going on or want to analyze. I analyze everything by history. I believe history repeats itself in many ways.
That's true.
I've often said in America we should have never been involved in World War II. We didn't need to be. A lot of people don't understand that. We didn't need to be inside World War II. We didn't need to be involved in World War I. We didn't need to be involved in either of them. But they did. We were under no threat. What did we need to join for? But, you know, history happened, but we really didn't need to be there. Yeah, America got influence in Europe, though. I guess that's one benefit they got from it. Now they have bases all over Germany. They have bases in Europe. So I guess that's one benefit they gained from it, but I don't know.
I think, of course, it's important to know our own roots. For example, do you know your roots? I mean, you are an American, yes. But
No, it's very important to me. You mean my ancestral roots? I come from Viking lineage. My family, if you know who Rollo of Normandy was, he was the first Viking king in Normandy, France, and my family was part of the Norman conquest of England. So I see a major connection with my family's history and also Russia. Because, you know, the original Russians under Rurik were all Scandinavian Vikings. So for me, I've always kind of seen a connection in that thing, that basically my ancestors were on the other side, the other Vikings in the western part. Russia's ancestors were the Vikings on the eastern part. So yeah, I know my family's history. My family were Normans in France. If you've seen that TV show, The Vikings, I don't know, the serial, whatever, there's a guy named Rollo on that. I'm a direct descendant of him in my family line. And we're the ones who settled England. We're the ones who took it over. And that's from my father's side. But yeah, I come from Viking ancestry. My mother's side's all British. I'm also part Irish. But yeah, I know my family's history going back 1,500 years. You know, and it's very important to me, my family's history, knowing this, you know, and I want to know everything I can about this, you know, and I want my children to look like my ancestors from 1,500 years ago. You know, this is very important to me as well. Unfortunately, in Russia, a lot of Russian people don't know their history far back because a lot was erased, you know, they don't know a lot. But nowadays, you can find out a lot of your history, too, just by taking a DNA test. You can find out where your ancestors came from on different continents and what your ancestry is. Even if you don't know your entire history, you can at least know what you're made up of. You know what I mean?
I made this DNA test.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll tell you what countries, what continents, what areas.
What people?
Yeah. I think it's important.
100%
Yeah.
Slavic.
Yeah, if you forget who you are, you know, or that. But I said many Russians don't know their history, you know, because communists got rid of a lot of stuff. They destroyed records. So a lot of people don't even know what their ancestry is 3 or 4 generations back.
That's true.
And people act like they don't even care to know. That's the difference between me. I want to know what my ancestors were doing.
Sometimes I think that only Indian people know a lot of relatives, many families, but as for Western people, unfortunately, we don't know our relatives sometimes.
Well, you got to research it, but the Indians are very family oriented. They all stick together. That's actually one of the things I do like about, I'm not a big fan of Indians. We're talking Indians from India. Knew them in America, but one thing that I do like about Indians is they don't go outside of their race. If an Indian will only date another Indian. An Indian mother and father want their Indian son or daughter to only date another Indian. They don't want racial mixing in their culture. They don't want. So I think that's actually something that we could learn from this. You know, it's very important to them. They want their Indian culture to survive. So I think we can look at them as an inspiration on these levels to kind of follow their example.
What's your favorite place in Russia to visit? I mean, except, of course, Donetsk, Lugansk. What else?
Cities.
What's your favorite place?
You mean cities, Gorod?
Not only cities. I mean just place. Maybe Kamchatka, maybe Siberia,
I mean, like I said, I've been all over. I like Krim. I haven't traveled for a while because I just got back from the war in March. But, I like these areas. I like, as I said before, I like Donetsk. I like Donbas. I like any of the real new territory areas. I wouldn't say they're all I've never really thought about it, my favorite places, but they're places I like to go. I don't really have like a straight favorite place that I like to go, but I'm mostly at home. Yeah, I like all different parts of Russia.
Did you visit Belarus?
I've never been to Belarus yet.
Oh, really?
I want to visit. I would like to see this area. I've never been there. I always hear about it. People tell me about it.
It's like Russia, but without migrants.
Maybe more clean.
Oh yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about Belarus. I've never heard anything bad about it. In fact, I was going to go and check out a bank there because there's certain banks that you can still get there that aren't blocked in the Western system, I heard. That you can still transfer money through Belarus, you can get money sent in through Belarus, like you can use Belarus credit card in Europe, like there's many things that I think you can still do through Belarus that they haven't stopped yet. Yeah, eventually I'd like to visit Belarus.
We visited some cities in Belarus.
Minsk.
Minsk and Могилев and what else?
Но только там мы были. В Минске и в Могилеве.
Тут еще
I
было.
mean, it is Russia if you want to really look at it. It's the same. Probably if you're in Belarus, it doesn't look any different than being in a village outside of Russia, right?
We liked Minsk because it's beautiful, clean and safe city. Safe city.
I mean, most of Russia is safe. If we
Yes.
say about,
Если сравнивать
like
с
I'll give you an
Америкой,
example. When
Of course.
you go outside of Moscow, not Moscow, but you go to like Vologda in north, Vologda. I teach masterclass there. It's beautiful there. It's all mostly Russian Slavic people. When you catch a taxi cab, it's a Russian man driving the taxi cab. It's all white Russian people up there. So you can still find this in Russia. That's one thing I do like. You go into the villages, things like this. It feels like you're in Russia. Even the taxi drivers and the man cleaning the streets up there is a Russian. It's not a migrant. So yeah, you feel like you're in. You feel like you're seeing real Russia. That's what I tell people all the time. They always want to say this thing, Russia's a multinational nation and all this shit. Like, okay, I guess we could say that, but 70% of the population are ethnic Russian Slavs, so I'd say they're the majority, wouldn't you say? And then
I think more than 70.
okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Something
They're
about
they're the majority. And all these people are like, oh, we're multinational, and all this crap about the USSR and how great. You want to know why it worked in the USSR so great? Because everybody was separated. The Uzbeks were in Uzbekistan, the Tajiks were in Tajikistan. You came to mainland Russia, it was mostly all just white Russian people. That's why it worked. Because everybody was separated. You know? 1990, 1991, the Soviet Union collapses. Everyone's brought together. Racism was right there. Yeah, it would have been there in the open if everybody had been forced to live together back then. I can guarantee it. That's just my observations.
What's your favorite hobby? Maybe music, art.
Right now,
Right now, yes.
I don't really have too many hobbies right now.
Don't have time.
I have to think like hobbies. I don't really have too many hobbies right now. Usually I'm on the internet, or I'm writing on Telegram, or I'm watching shit, or I guess my hobby is the war. Focused on the war and blogging and reading Telegram channels and thinking about things. I guess that's kind of my new hobby because I do it all the time. You know, I used to like a lot of things, going to get tattooed. I haven't been tattooed in a very long time, and I used to do stuff like that, but you know, probably the war is my hobby now.
You have an interesting style of your blog on your page. I think you can be a good journalist.
Maybe, but I speak too much truth. So really any of the major state media is not going to put my stuff out because I speak too much truth a lot of times. But I've never tried to fit their mold. I don't care to. Yeah, I make my own media, you know. It's a different perspective. Yeah, maybe I could be a journalist. I don't know.
As a journalist too, I think we should tell the truth.
Yeah.
Of course, it's hard. Of
Yeah,
course,
you
it's
speak the
hard.
truth, but then they try to silence you and shut you down.
That's true, unfortunately. But when we say something, I mean, not only good things, bad things too,
Yeah.
we can help people.
Yeah,
To
well, I
solve
think that's
their
the only
problems.
thing that anything's going to change is if you speak the truth.
Of course.
A lot of Russians are always. I guess I'm different because I come from the West and we're much more outspoken. A lot of Russians don't want to say what's really the problem, and they're scared. I don't know if they're scared or they're so used to the authorities. Oh, well, you can't say this, you can't say that, or. I think a lot of it goes back to the USSR too, is fear of like the KGB and all people like this, you know, like white Russian people. They know shit's fucked up and they know it needs to change, but they would rather just not say a damn thing about it. I've noticed this too. This is a lot of Russian mentality that they won't speak up and speak what they really need to say.
Maybe it's dependent people.
Yeah. I mean, I'm talking majority. Not everybody's like that. Usually the people I hang out with and the type of patriots I hang out with, they're very outspoken. But I'm saying, overall, the majority of Russians, I've noticed this, you know, that they won't speak openly what they're really thinking.
For example, I know a lot of people who don't like to talk about problems, but they like to do something to solve their problems.
Yeah, maybe that's another thing. I like to do both. I like to do something to solve the problem, but I also want to talk about it.
For example, I know a lot of people who save the planet, think about ecology, and do a lot of good things for animals, for children, for old people. They just maybe don't say, just do something.
Yeah,
I
they
think
do
it's
it
good.
without. Yeah, it's always good to make things better, I think. I'm talking more about the people that don't do anything. That don't do anything and also don't want to talk about it.
I agree.
That's more who I'm talking about. There's many like that they're too scared to. I don't know what it is, man.
What about different countries? What's your favorite countries? I mean, except
Where I
Russia.
want to visit, I want to go to North Korea.
North Korea, yes?
I want to visit North Korea.
Да, было бы интересно. Я тоже
We think about
съездил бы, посмотрел.
I'm actually planning. I'm going to write to the North Korean embassy about I want to come to North Korea to teach master classes for Ukrainian hair for North Korean hair professionals. And I want to propose this idea that I come to North Korea and I teach some seminars there. I think they will like this idea. So we'll see. I like them. I like Iran a lot. Iran. I want to visit there. Probably those are the two countries I really want to visit. North Korea and Iran. I'd like to go to Cuba too. I'd like to visit there. But it's kind of in a bad situation right now.
my opinion about North Korea changed after they help
They
Kursk.
got, and I think they would like that I go there because I'm a veteran. I'm former American. I'm for Russia. I think that maybe they will like my idea of coming there to teach their hair professionals. I want to meet Kim Jong-un. I want to cut his hair. North Korea is a good country. I think there's many bullshit written about them. I want to go see it with my own eyes.
What about Vietnam?
I would like to visit Vietnam, but it's not main priority. I go there, but I would like to see Vietnam too. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Vietnam, I'd like to visit. I'd like to go see stuff from the Vietnam War. There's many sites I would like to visit. They beat the Americans in war too, so I'd like to visit Afghanistan too for some reason.
Afghanistan?
I'd like to just visit, go there and see.
Really?
Why?
Why?
I don't know. Iran mainly. Iran is the main country I'd like to visit.
Как Иран ведет войну, России нужно поучиться.
Yes, Iran people are good soldiers, as I think.
Yeah, they're good. They're not bad Muslims. They're not terrorists. Persians are good. I would like they hate Israel. We have mutual. We both hate Israel, so we will get along very well. I'd like to go to Lebanon too. I'd like to go visit there. Any country that's against Israel, generally, I'm going to get along with them.
Are you religious?
Not really. Well, I'm actually, I guess you could say I'm a mixture of pagan, but I'm also open to orthodoxy. I like old Viking beliefs, but also I'm kind of intrigued by orthodoxy, but old orthodoxy. I don't like the modern Orthodox Church. I think it's too soft. I like orthodoxy, kind of like the Black Hundreds, groups like these from pre-1917 that were fighting against the bullshit, like White Army Orthodoxy. You understand? Like very militant nationalist orthodoxy. I could follow something like this. Kind of like orthodoxy that we go spread it by the sword. So, I don't know, like, would I say I believe in God? I don't know. I see orthodoxy more as a movement to unite the people and more of a Russian cultural thing that's very good and very part of Russian civilization and Russian culture. Do I physically believe in God? I don't know. You know, but I kind of like both. You know, I like paganism and I like orthodoxy at the same time. It's hard to explain. I guess I'm still searching on these aspects, you know what I mean?
But we understand you.
Yeah, like new orthodoxy, like, see me, the kind of orthodoxy I like, I wish we could build an Orthodox army and we go to Istanbul and we turn it back into Constantinople. And we tell them all there, you're going to become Orthodox and we're just going to enslave and slaughter you. That's the kind of orthodoxy I could follow. Understand? I don't know, man. But you know, I like there's been many great warriors in Russian history that were Orthodox, you know, so we have to look at this too. But I don't like soft Orthodoxy, I guess you could say, and I'm still researching it, but also I feel that Orthodoxy needs to be protected because I've seen what Christian churches, what happened to Christianity in the West. Now they have gay marriage inside the church. There's many things. So for me, I feel like Orthodoxy needs to be protected so that none of this would ever happen here. You know, and so this is why I'm interested in Orthodoxy as well. So I don't know exactly. I'm still searching all this out.
Is it really true? I mean, support to gay marriage from
The Pope.
Catholic Church.
Yeah,
Sometimes I think it's just Russian propaganda, no?
oh, they're all becoming way liberal now. It's just crazy to me, like, you know? It's just crazy to me that all this shit. Yeah, they're they're bringing all this crap into the church, you know? There's actually a strain of Christianity I like that's not orthodoxy. It's called creativity. I like the idea of it. It basically says Jesus was the original Aryan white man, and and the white people are the chosen people of God. I can follow this. I like this idea too. So I don't know, man. Have you ever heard of this? World Church of the Creator or any of these? Yeah, like this. It says Jesus was the original Aryan and any of his descendants are followers were all the original white people. So I like this, and that white people are the chosen people of God. I like this idea too. But I don't know, man. I like nature too. I believe in, see, the thing is, I can say all this stuff about Christianity and all that, but I also believe in evolution as well. So I have many beliefs.
There are many Orthodox churches in USA.
Orthodox churches, not that many.
Not many, yeah?
It's becoming more popular with very traditional. It is opening up more, but there's not that many. I mean, how it came over, a lot of it was there were white army emigres after the Russian Civil War that moved to America. A lot of Orthodoxy came there from that, a lot of certain strains of it from these guys that came over, but I think more people are becoming open to it, but it's never going to be a mainstream church in America. It's not many people know about it.
Красивый,
Очень.
да? Усы не короткие.
What's more questions?
I think it's enough.
Yes, thank you very much.
Just
Yes, thank you very much.
What are you going to put it out on?